Hey, it's your boy DD758 Saka Fett. To all my subscribers, I'd like to say thank you. And to all my new subscribers, I'd like to say thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Today we got an Amber Alert going on, people, because last night's episode was really off the chain for me. I was a lot, some new things came to light I didn't expect to come to light because it was rather interesting that Amber. mm-mm-mm. So far, Amber have been really like she's really been someone I really liked on the show. I still like her, but then I wasn't expecting those things from her. But let's get into it. We started where it ended off with, we had Liz and David, and then the continuation of that conversation where they got into it. David, on the other hand, David is I still do not understand what is David's problem. Meaning by that, he and Liz was having a conversation. He didn't want to give Liz the time to talk, and she was just trying to make her point come across, but he just wasn't having it. So for me, as a man, like out of respect for Liz, he should have just let Liz say what she have to say, and then he respond. But then he said he self-eliminated himself, which made no sense to me. He didn't self-eliminate himself because he was on his way out anyway. So to justify his I guess his own ego or his actions for his own ego or his ego is that big that he eliminated himself. So let's just leave it as that. He eliminated himself. Then we had Ron. Ron and Alexis. Oh my god. Ron kept on I think it was a bit disrespectful what he was saying to her. Because he kept on telling her, what can you do for me? And it's like basically what he's saying is you don't need her. So and the conversation went on and he was about to walk out and he's like, oh well, not walk out, but it was about for the time for him to end the conversation. But before he ended the conversation, he mentioned that he and Amber went to the date and they kissed, which was very interesting. Amber, very interesting. Amber, I wasn't expecting that from Amber. Yeah, she allowed Joel to kiss her on her cheek, but then she and Ron went on a date and they kissed. But I don't know if Ron, when he said the kiss, I don't know if the kiss was basically a kiss on the cheek or kiss on the lip or if there was some tongue action. So we don't know what the kiss was about. But I guess he did that out of spite to try and, spite Alexis and make Alexis know that, well, I guess maybe he had more options other than her, but then she wasn't having it. But he was a bit condescending for true with his attitude, but then it is what it is. But the thing about Ron, from the starting of the season, Ron have been saying, well, from the time Ron came on the scene, because from the starting of the season, he wasn't really showing much. And then as the season went by, we started seeing much more of Ron until Ron became one of the girls, well, the ladies, two of them, he was in their pockets. So he have been saying that he basically wants a housewife. He have been saying what he wants. And for me, Ron shot himself in the foot because I think Christian Pierre would have been a better match for him, but then I guess they were listening to the guys. It looked like a lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes we don't know. And it got to the point where, boom. They started feeling each other, they started talking on the phone, but then he allowed that to manipulate him into not picking Christian Pierre. And then he chose Alexis, and then like he said, they're opposite. She's a woman of God. He's a man that wants to be in the club. He's into the party lifestyle. So it is what it is. He's gone, and I got an interview coming up on Monday, so we'll see how that interview goes. Then we had baby, you dig? We got Mr. Joel in the house, where Tommy sent them on some resort, well, some ranch, sorry, and then they had the horseback riding, and then the guys was there, Joel was there, and Joel never told Venetia about his pick, and his pick was Kyra. So Amber, like I said, Amber in the whole conversation, Amber spilled the beans. Amber said, like, Joel, why when they asked you, would you pick if you had to leave the show, and what was your choice? And then he said it was Kyra. And then Venetia didn't know, so Venetia got upset. And it just went downhill from there. But I understand where Venetia is coming from, because something like that, Joel should have definitely told Venetia. But he didn't tell Venetia, and then it just went south. So She got upset. She told him how she felt, and she's like, it just took the little arguments they had for him to just change his mind, and he wants to be with what his pick was Kyra. And I noticed on this show, a lot of the men, they don't take accountability for their actions, which is really bad. And I think they should take accountability for what they do, because Joel, you had to tell, that's something you had to tell Venetia. Not because you'll have an argument or you'll have a misunderstanding that you feel that, okay, your pick should have been Kyra, because her pick never changed. So why all of a sudden you change your pick and it went into Kyra? So they had that misunderstanding. Well, Venetia told him how she felt. Joel really wasn't taking accountability. It had to take KG to come to him and talk to him and tell him, Venetia is pissed off, for him to take accountability for what he did. Then we went into that whole scenario. Then, at the ranch, Joel cooked for everyone. They went horseback riding as well. I forgot that part. They went horseback riding. It was Kyra, Liz, Jason, and I think it was AJ. Yeah, they went horseback riding. But we'll get into that. I prefer discuss that with my panel today. But then, basically, it wasn't much of something of a big deal for me with that horseback riding thing. But then it got to the point where they played that truth or dare game, and that's where things got really, really, really interesting when they played the truth or dare. And Jason, like I said, I like Jason. Jason, he got game. And though you can't, like they say, don't hit the player, hit the game. And Jason got game, but right now, he's just not too sure who he wants. And that's why I think he might shoot himself in the foot as well. And he won't find love, because it's between Liz and Kyra. But I do not see Jason and Liz being together, because Liz is more into the spiritual aspect of her life. Jason don't come off as that kind of spiritual guy to me. And I think that's where they might probably butt heads. Kyra is more of a fit for him, but then I do not think that maybe he's just not assertive enough, I think, or maybe he's just not strong enough. I don't know. He's not like a man, like, when he was crying, I cannot say a man cannot cry. Yes, a man can cry, but when Jason was crying, Jason came over a bit emotional. So I just felt like Jason is just a little bit too emotional for my liking. I might be wrong, but come on, put some chest. You don't cry for every little thing, like when people describe you cry for that. Nah, so I think he needs to be if he was a little stronger, like more masculine, like type of guy, I think he would be a perfect fit for Kyra, because I think that's the kind of man Kyra needs. That's just my opinion. But then it got to the point where they had that whole discussion, and they asked questions, certain questions came about, truth or dare came about. And then we got Amber in the scene. Amber. And there she is. Let me drop this for a little bit. Because she realized what she did. She was like, what the? So we got Amber with this on her mind, I guess. And she never told KG what went down. Hold on, let me get this off. All right, just give me 1 minute. So she never told KG what happened between she and Ron. KG was shocked. And there goes KG reaction. KG looked like he saw a ghost. I don't know, maybe he had some dust in his eye. I don't know. Honestly, I burst out laughing when I saw that. But KG was like, huh? What? Like, you kissed Ron? And then Alexis explained the whole situation that, she told Ron he was eliminated. She said he was condescending. She didn't like his attitude, and then they were not a good fit. And then she spilled the beans that Amber was someone she confided in. They were friends. They used to talk. They spoke all the time. They were really good friends. Amber knew what she was going through. And then Amber kissed Ron. So Alexis wasn't pleased. She wasn't happy about that situation, which I understand where Alexis is coming from, because I can't be spilling my heart to you about this man, and then you go on a date with the man and you kiss the man. And Amber was like, she didn't know what was going on. So that was really interesting. That whole thing just went south. And the next episode, I guess we'll see where we'll see basically what happens between the rest of the conversation they're gonna have. But I got my people backstage already pulling up. They're pulling up to the DD758. It's not the After Dark yet, but they're pulling up to the DD758 crew. So I got them backstage, and I'm gonna bring up my girl. What's up, Kia Simone?
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
How? Hey, the dogs got any objectives today? Because that was a hot mess. That episode was a hot mess last night.
I know. And I fell asleep. I was tired, but I was like messaging my people. I was like, Didi, did you see that? You like, how did you see that? And you were sleepy.
I didn't have time watching the same time you were watching it.
When KG said it's a rap, bro, I was dead. I was like, bro, it's a rap, let it rap. Sorry. And it was just amazing to me how Joe just was like oblivious. Like Joe is one of the older cats. And I'm like, it's like he seems like, are you just that delusional or just so out of touch? Like even with the thing about the food week when she explained why she was upset. Even if you're my friend, it's common courtesy. Just call and say I got tied up, so I will go ahead and eat. So if you're not going to show up, don't have me just sitting there like waiting around all day for nothing. And then with that situation, if he knew that they had some type of pack or some type of special thing going on, all you had to do is just say, hey, by the way, I, was angry or I was mad or my feelings was hurt. I said Kyra out of madness. It should have never got to her through another party. So again, I was feeling, then he still like he wasn't getting it. So I did like how KG went in there was like, bro, you see that woman out there? She hurting. Go get it.
Yo, Onisha was like you see when you put you have your grill and you adding coals to the fire and just keep on getting hotter and hotter. She was hot because she was really disappointed and she was upset at what he did. But then he was just really acting like it took him some time to actually get to the point where he apologized. But Joel seems like a guy that don't
but it's
accept
communication, Didi. At a certain age, it's like, where are your communication skills? Like, wherever you work, you have communication skills. That's one of the major things when you have at his age, he should have some type of communication skills. And I don't see how he just don't get certain things. Like, why KG got to come in the kitchen and tell you, like, bro, it's a rap. Like, she mad. Like, how you... And then he like still wouldn't really take accountability. Like he was still just like, well, yeah, she mad. Don't tell me you sorry if you don't know why, because sorry don't mean nothing to me if you don't know why you really sorry. You're gonna keep on repeating the same actions. Let's go back here. Who in Joe's life is allowing this mess? Because Bernicia is not the first person that he's stood up. You can't just stand people up. You froze up, Didi.
I'm gonna bring up a new Crystal and Misha, and just give me one.
Oh no!
So it must be raining in St. Lucia. So what do y'all have to say about Joe?
It's a wrap. It's an avocado wrap. It's a lettuce wrap. It's a steak wrap. Mr. Chris is hilarious. He did this last season when Bryant got
Sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah, so
I forgot about the steak, right? The steak wrap.
Avocado wrap. That was so funny. But he did this last year when Bryant got in his little mess with the two girls, with the girl that got pregnant with the tattoos and the other girl. Mr. Chris wants to save him. Mr. Chris tries to let me go and rescue this man real quick. He did the same thing last season.
Yeah, but that look, the thing about Joel is we know he all got cooking skills because we saw when he cooked some Southern food. But something is a little off about Joel because I don't know why did it take him so long to like actually apologize? That take KG to come to him. Like just wasn't he, and then did you see when they kiss? Like that kiss was like, okay.
That kiss was so funny. He's the type that knows he'll get into trouble and suffer the consequences. He's like, I can flirt my way out of this. Like she's trying to fix a drink. And I mean, he reminds me so much of my ex. Let me put my arm around her. Let me flirt with her real quick. Let me get myself out of this trouble. I was like, I don't want any of your mess right now. You need to let me have a minute. He knew he was in trouble, and my dog is apparently taking Kia's dog's place right now. But yeah, he likes to. He said, "What is that saying that I'm just gonna get in trouble now and suffer the consequences later." That's the type of person he is. So I'm not surprised. But Amber was funny. Is she the whistleblower? Amber was the whistleblower. That was funny.
Amber's messy.
But my thing with Amber was if you know like you got some mess, you need to shut up. Whenever Kia Simone in the corner being mad at her business, I mean my plate might be a little messy. So when you know that you did some stuff behind KG, you know it's gonna get out, you shouldn't be asking probing questions. She shouldn't have been all in everybody else's Kool-Aid. Because if I sit over there quiet, you be like, what Kia did? So if y'all meet me in real life and I'm sitting somewhere quiet, you be like, what shit?
But wait, don't y'all think maybe KG has something hiding as well? Because when they say let's play truth or dare, did you see he almost spit out his drink? He was like, I was like, so I guess maybe he has something hiding as well because he almost spit out his drink like he was in shock. Like, okay, truth or dare.
Maybe he knew all the tea because KG seemed to have all the tea. So maybe he was just like, oh, it's about to get hot up in here because, you got people dating the same person in love. He, probably had the conversations with the guys that's conflicted and probably like, ooh, I know these women about to ask these tough questions.
Mm. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about David and Liz. What do you think? Let me start with Anu because I know my guy, Anu, Dr. Madi. Let's go, Dr. Madi. Let me hear what you have to say.
Okay, so it carries on from last week. Like David has really no accountability. I didn't like the fact how he was trying to explain himself because we never knew the reason why. I felt like he felt ashamed or he felt like, okay, I'm about to get eliminated. I want to leave with some dignity or with some good press. My thing is, like a couple weeks ago, you sent home. Didn't he send home? I forget the woman he sent home. He sent home some. He sent home some. Sorry.
He did Stacey's.
Stacey sent home Stacey. It was like it wasn't. He was cool, calm. He didn't have any remorse about it. But in this situation, it felt like he was getting It was getting way past passive aggressive. He was getting more territorial, dominating, trying to inflict his will over on Liz. I'm glad Liz stood up for it because it was a bad look all around. I've said most of this last week. I'm not. I wasn't a fan of his explanation. And the whole thing, he trying to put this on Christianity, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what did Liz do to you for you to feel like she betrayed your trust? Like, if you want to claim Liz, claim Liz. You didn't claim Liz for how many weeks now? You're hurt that she's showing affection to somebody else, and they're having a better connection than you. And now you want to flip the script or try to play it out like, hey, I'm this righteous guy. I'm looking at her best interest, etc. You're on a game show trying to find love, and it didn't work out for you. Take your 2 steps to the left and get out.
Okay, let me see what M got to say. Let's go, Misha. What's up?
I don't know. I was scared watching him, and it seemed like he was like spiraling. Like he didn't know how to handle the kiss with Jason, and then he gets to the ex, and it's like he can't even like. It's like he couldn't get control of his emotions. He had to like burst out with, well, when's the last time you guys were intimate? And it's like, as like every time you saw him, he had on that same outfit and he was just like spiraling. And I was like, wait, is it drugs? Is it alcohol? And I was looking at him and his eyes, when one eye's going that way, one eye's going this way. I was like, what is going on? It seemed like a chemical imbalance. I'm like, is he bipolar? That's what I'm like leaning towards. I think there's some type of like imbalance. Like I think he's actually, I think I would joke and call him crazy and he looked like he should be on Snapped and stuff, but I think something is really like a screw might be a little loose with him. Because it's like he even tried to blame production, like, oh, I wasn't mad at Liz.
I think
I wasn't mad at X. It was production set me up. Like he still doesn't get like his reaction was out there.
yeah, because I think it's the embarrassment. One of the things was the embarrassment. Two, I think he realized he made a big mistake by going on the show. Because with David, his spiritual connection with God and what God is doing for him, he's okay with that. But the problem with David is he's neglecting what's in the flesh.
Right.
That's how I see David. So since he's neglecting what's in the flesh, to him, he's using the spiritual aspect of him to justify what he does in the flesh. And then he's just not letting, like, accountability is not in David's vocabulary. It's
right.
not.
And even Liz called him out because he's like, I'm a man of God. And Liz is like, you ain't acting like one, basically.
Exactly.
I'm tired of all these people coming on these shows just trying to put God into their behavior.
Right.
You are always by grace. Listen here. I am a Christian, but I still need some deliverance. I still need some help. I still might pop off sometimes and then go repent. Not that I intend to. So let's just stop. They just be so like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. And David just came off as like, I'm just this godly man. And, you know, like everything I do is, you know, supported by God. You know, God, like that text message stuff had me gone. That has nothing to do with the Bible. It was no text messaging in the Bible where you got to share password. Dee, you ain't gonna never live that one down. Even though you apologize, I said y'all ladies got to pay attention to the signs. David he's controlling, and he wants to, you know, put that guy, you know, the weak woman. If he get like a page or somebody, they'll be like, okay, well, the man is leading, and he wants a weak woman, somebody he can lead. Even in the church, David, I don't think he's gonna find that woman because David has some insecurities and some stuff going on, and church men abuse their wives too. Church men fornicate. Church men do some of the same stuff the world do. So, David, stop trying to put God into all your mess.
Isis, what you got to say about that? You want to give me your passwords, Isis?
Hi, everyone.
Get him,
I hope
Isis.
you can hear me.
Isis, he said, can he have your password?
I'm sorry, what? He can't have my password. The only thing I could get him is a therapist. David, I really don't even know what to say about him because, oh God, my issue with David is that he tries to rely on God for all of his shortcomings. Yeah. And even when he left out and he initially didn't want to talk to the cameras, but then they probably reminded him that he get paid to talk to the cameras. And so he went ahead and talked to them. Right. And he came back just like Naya. And his issue was something about, oh, I'm ready for love and Liz is ready for love, but I feel the evil spirits or something he was saying and he wasn't going to be there. He's got too much God. And I'm just like, sir, it's not that serious. Just be accountable for what you did and just take the fact that you're getting rejected again, purposefully.
Yeah, because I listened to his ex-wife's interview on Spotify, and she said his relationship with God is good, but then she was saying that his personality, like there are a lot of things about him that it comes off controlling, and she said she left because before David she was in an abusive relationship because she was married to I can't remember. I think she was married to some famous guy. I think a basketballer. I'm not too sure, but it was something of that sort. And she said the relationship she was in, her marriage before, she was abused. So I guess probably she saw the same signs from David, and that's why she left before he probably got to a point where, I'm not saying he would raise his hand, but then she is just saying she left because the situation was just too much for her. And maybe she saw some of the things, the same traits she saw in her last marriage, she was starting to see it come out in her marriage with David. That's why she left.
Me and Crystal both like that. So it doesn't matter. You want to go first, Crystal?
Well, I just wanted to say two things. One, I don't believe that he self-eliminated because as soon as Liz said that to the group, all the guys
started laughing.
Specifically the guys, KG, Joel, and I think it was AJ started laughing, self-eliminated like that. Because I'm like, because they're thinking, if he self-eliminated, we would have heard something. But two, when he said, well, when I see that the devil is stepping in, it was my turn to retreat. And I think he was talking about when Liz brought her ex-boyfriend and he started asking him questions. He really does not see what he does wrong. He just points out what somebody else is doing wrong and calls it the devil. And so I feel like I'm kind of glad that not glad that happened that way, that in that confrontation. But if he would have said the reason why, because he was like, let me speak, let me speak, let me speak. Because when Clarence started to talk about this, and like I felt like I did not want to hear him putting down Liz or Clarence in that setting. I just thought that you're not even seeing what you're doing wrong. And I just thought that would be even worse. So I'm kind of glad that he did not get his say and he just kind of left. I thought that was kind of funny. No questions, no questions, no questions. And then he has to stop and take questions. It doesn't work like that, bruh. So I thought that was funny.
No. Okay, well, let's get to Ron
So-
and okay, after
Wait,
Kelly,
let's
get
be
to
good.
Go ahead. I
have
don't
a
know
two
trouble.
question.
I don't know
Between
trouble.
two of my brothers. No. It's between two of my brothers. So I need to know from a male perspective. You know, your sister don't get out here in these streets much. So I just need to know. Is this how men are acting in 2021? Because I think these men, like even when they're being eliminated, I think they could leave more so with a little bit more class. It's like, okay, you lost. Keep it moving. Like either you rejected. This the way that they move. So like, what are y'all thoughts on how Ron and David acted at elimination? Those were two of those classic with the hashtag classic eliminations. Like with Ron, since you want to ease over to Ron, when he was like, oh, I went on a date with Amber and I kissed her. What type of petty foolishness is that from a man? I would never expect that from a man. Oh no, help a sister out. Would have ever been like, yeah, by the way, just to get under her skin? What type of man wants to get under a woman's skin? We not girlfriends. We not, you help me out, Ono.
Yeah, let me see what other guy to say, then I'll see what I got to say.
Man.
What's going on in these streets? Let me know. I'm gonna mute.
How can I say this? Wow. I don't know. There's a lot of pettiness.
Just see what's on your mind. See what's on your mind.
All right, cool. So I'm going to bring this back to you. It's like, okay, it's like when you first started drinking, like, oh my God, I want an apple martini, but you realize apple martinis, you can't order an apple martini and be cool. There's no way to do about it. But like guys now are like, you know what? I'm gonna drink the apple martini and I'm gonna live my own truth. The problem is the way it's coming off, it's just like so messed up. Most guys are just like, okay, like I want to be able to say my truth or be emotional with my actions and with my words. But back in the day, you just wouldn't do that. You just take the loss from your chin and move away. The ideal thing would have been for Ron just to like accept the loss and just walked away. We didn't need an explanation. The fact that it had these drawn out explanations is what made it fun reality television. And like you're seeing that a lot more. Like guys are explaining why they're hurt. I guess like, the Drake effect, whatever you want to call it. We need to get past that because it's not a good look. It only just makes you look 10 times worse. In my opinion.
Well, for me, I think Ron was hurt. And I think he noticed he made a mistake. Like I said, he realized he should have gone with Crescentia. So he was just trying to make Alexis understand he had options. So by he kissing Amber, he was making her know, which I find Ron should not spill the beans.
All laughed at you. Stop it.
What? All right, I gotta get in on that.
You need to stop. When you do this, you're gonna get blasted just like Lola said. What are you talking about? Options. She had already said, you're not ready for love, please leave. Not only did he say that I went out with Amber last night, but then he pulls this, I lost respect for you. I think that's when she said, you didn't have to say that. Like, I can't remember what she said after that, but
Ron,
you lost respect for me.
All I'm saying is
that's the name of the show.
Ron wanted to make her know he had options. Yeah. So like this is like you wanna tell me, okay, I am this, I am that. But like I said, Ron is condescending, but he was just making her know he was being
spiteful and he was being petty.
And he was being petty.
Ron is just messy. He's been messy. I think because Kyra did an interview, she said one of the men in the group is running back and telling all the girls about the deliberations. And I think that's Ron. And
But
Amber said it was Ron. And then if you notice when Kyra and Alexis are talking, Kyra tells Alexis, I'm not going to choose no man just because he chose me. And I'm like, where would Kyra get to say that? Like, where would she get that from? It's Ron. Like, Ron is, I don't know what part of the masculine energy that came from, but
that's a good question. Where would he be?
He runs around running his mouth.
That's masculinity.
So let's go here. Dee try to play nice because Brian coming on next week or whatever. And Brian can hear what he hears.
I have an interview coming up. I have an interview coming up with Ron, so I can't say too much because I wanna.
Listen,
I don't.
Brian, east side or west side, that determines what type of person you are.
So you all discuss Ron.
Wait. Everybody watching, I bet y'all 75% that Brian is from the west side. I bet you he ain't from the east side.
He's from Detroit.
Detroit don't matter, but we different. East side is me. West side is the kind of person. I bet you he west side. I bet y'all watch the show on Monday, and I bet you that's excellent. What side he from? East side, west side. He from the west side.
Well, I ain't got much to say about Ron, but Ron was just making Alexis know that he had an option.
Just have Kia on. We can be nice and respectful. We know how to be nice and respectful. We know how to be nice and respectful. Just have Kia on.
But I think that's
have Kia on.
What you say, Anu?
I was like, y'all saying he's messy, but I think that's kind of grimy because you're putting Amber's street business out in the street, and she wasn't prepared for that. Like, KG. I mean, I guess we can get to it. Like, KG's been on other dates. He was on date with Chrysanthemum a couple weeks ago, but which didn't went well. So again, I know they've been on other dates. How things advance on the dates, that's the key thing. He didn't have to put all that in the streets after he got eliminated, or the way he got eliminated. That's what I'm more kind of where I have fault with Ron. In this episode.
I don't think he was thinking about Amber. His intention was to hurt Alexis in that moment. He didn't give a damn what people thought about Amber. It was just, I want to get to you, Alexis, right now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Also think.
Wait, let Isis go here.
Go ahead.
I agree with you guys. I also think that he wants to get back at KG too, because he feels like KG is the reason why he lost Chrysanthemum. Because he was hoping that Chrysanthemum wouldn't have went home, and then he would have had two girls still in his mind fighting for him. So this way, he got rid of he hurt Alexis, he hurt KG, and he let Amber out there to drive. But he served his purpose. You got rid of my girl, I'm gonna get rid of your girl.
Exactly. So that was I was about to say. Ron just played the game. That's all.
No, Ron don't have any game. No, that Ron has no game. No game whatsoever. How is KG still in here, still successful playing this game? He got kicked out within 2 breaths.
Ron ain't got no game.
Ron has no game.
When Ron was in the club with Chrysanthemum and Alexis,
I mean,
you my number one. You my number one.
He said number one's like there on free buffet coupons. Where did I get them?
I know you cutting up today.
I'm just saying,
he's selling number ones, buy one get one half off.
Well, look, Ron didn't leave. Despite of what y'all think about Ron was being messy, but it was good messy.
No, he was being
because
messy.
he didn't leave.
It's not a look, Dee.
He was being messy and grimy.
That was messy for a man. I don't care if it's for reality TV. That's not a good look for a man, period. If you just that messy, why did you tell her about a kiss? I went on a date. But who does that?
But Isis just explained it here because he like he said, KG got rid of Chrysanthemum. So now he's doing something to get back at KG.
Well, what
and
man
he succeeded because he got a kiss.
A real man like that.
Kia, men been out here doing this kind of bitch assness for quite some time now. You know it, I know it, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's been men out here carrying purses for a long time. I am so sorry, and you know that. We had California last year. They've been doing this for a while now, and doing it in real life. In our lives, we've met men as told way more than they needed to tell.
Listen, so we don't have sense on can the real men stand up? Can the real men stand up? Because this right here is like trash. These how they
First of all, I had to write down bitch assness because I'm putting that in a script soon.
Puffy been used that years ago. Puffy, that was a term Puffy came up with, and he was absolutely correct because he also has bitch assness.
You brought it back. I love you, Isis Blue. Okay, so I have a question. How would you have preferred a man to be emotional, the way what's his name, Ron did it? Because he kept throwing jabs at Alexis, not just the I feel disrespected, but the Amber comment, and then what is it, the divine masculinity. He just kept throwing jabs at her, and the underlying comments, or the way David did it. The way that David did it was like, let me speak, just very uncomfortable and confrontational. I feel like all those little jabs, because that type of guy, you don't know how bad he is until you've gone out with him and actually been in a small relationship with him. Whereas David is out front with his, if you don't believe in God, if you don't submit to me, then that's it. I'm not for you. So which one is better? Neither.
I actually like both of those instances because this is not a marriage show, and everybody wants people to be hooked up and stay together, and you've been dating them and others for 3 to 4 weeks. So for me, when you date people, you're supposed to date them and get to know them. Just because you like them, they should not be your number one boyfriend in 2 weeks, Venetia. So I'm saying in both these instances were great opportunities for these women to figure out these men before they lay down with them or do any other things with them, buy them a car, and the various things we know women do very early on in relationships. So in this instance, you got to see exactly who Ron was. He was going to eventually show himself, and David eventually showed himself. So it did exactly what the show was supposed to do. They're not ready for love, and hopefully you would be able to determine if you were ready for love, i.e. Alexis, because she's not, because look at the game she's falling for. Or are you more like Kara, that's kind of like, I'm ready for love, but it has to be what I want. And she's willing to date and get those answers. So I think the show is working the way it should work. If only we all did this in real life.
But they say next season they took the elimination process out in the next season. So the next season is going to be 10 guys, 10 girls, and at the the reunion, they're going to pick who they want to be with. So it's not going to be like that next season.
And it's supposed to be in DC, I think I heard.
Yeah, so Anu, you're going to be in the show.
Let me in the show.
Does that mean that you changed your mind and signed up?
Yeah, let me in the show.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to have Kia and Anu on the show next season, I guess.
I'm in Detroit, so hey, I'm not coming to DC. Sorry.
Yeah, you can just fly across. You and Anu can rent a place, and you'll be in the show. What do you think, Kia?
I'm sorry. What you say?
Forget about it.
I probably didn't need to hear it anyway because I was trying to turn the sound down.
All right, let's get to Venetia and Joel. Well, and Amber, Messy Amber. That whole situation when Amber told Venetia what Joel said and the way she reacted to it. What do you all think about that? Let's go on.
Okay, Amber or Venetia?
No, the way Venetia reacted to what she knew about Joel when Joel picked Kyra.
I mean, I get why she's frustrated, but I get why she's frustrated. I feel like she has every reason to be frustrated because she's been for a week stating, "Hey, I want to be with Joel. I want to connect connection with Joel." The problem is Joel hasn't done that in return, and it kind of bit him in his butt, and he never ever took the time out to kind of smooth things over. He waited till someone else told him the information, which is going to make it 10 times worse. Joel, I'm not going to accountability, but it's just like I think he's unaware of his actions. Again, he's more acting childish in this aspect. I understand the role of the show, but at the same time, for them to spending that much time and for Vernisha to be like every single time you hear her, like, I'm here for Joel. She's not here looking at anybody else. For you to have wandering eyes or looking on a different direction or not trying to commit to that person when you know for a fact this woman is going out in public spaces telling you, hey, I'm looking to build a connection with you, that's kind of foul. So again, I can't give Joel a pass for that. You hurt her feelings. You have to be accountable for that. The fact that he was dancing around it didn't make any worse. It wasn't until KG came in and like kind of get from that brother to brother talk that he actually tried to at least attempt to add an apology. The apology was some trash, but at least he had an apology. If I was Vernisha, I wouldn't accept the apology because again, at the same time, why is he apologizing for? He's apologizing that he got caught doing something stupid. Now, Amber, I don't think it was her place to say that, to say what's happening behind closed doors in open spaces. Like, what do you get out of that? And then, which we can pause right there, which leads to the end of the show, which we can get into. Straight, I mean, it's all cool when you have the gun with someone else and get some strays coming at you, and you have to start ducking and diving. So we'll see what happens with Amber moving forward.
Yeah, well, Amber fought. She probably fought. Sorry, she probably fought that you already knew. Venetia already knew, but then I understand where Amber is coming from. But anyway, go ahead, Michelle.
I don't think Vernisha was mad about him having other connections. She even said herself her connection was Joel because other men wanted kids. They wanted other things that she wasn't really trying to do right now. Her and Joe were more on the same page. She understood, like, she knew he had other connections, but he didn't communicate any type of connection with Kyra. So for him to name Kyra as her number one, that was foul, knowing that you two have a closer connection. You know you don't have a connection, period, with Kyra. So it's like like she said, he threw her away because they had one little disagreement. And I think she was really upset because it's like this communication issue keeps coming up. Like with the dinner, whatever, when they're going out to eat, he doesn't communicate. And now he's not communicating that he chose Kyra as his top when he's been telling her that she is his top. So it seems I was rooting for them, Joe and Vernisha, not Joe, what's his name? Joel and Vernisha.
Yeah,
but
Joel and Venetia.
Joe seems a little toxic. Like he's been gaslighting her. He's not making her feel secure. So it took way too long for that half-ass apology. So it's like he had so many interactions with her and he was like relying on his southern charm to like make her laugh it off and get over it. Then he finally was like, you know what, okay, she's not getting over it, I'll say my little sorry and so we can move on. But it's like he still doesn't get it. He's still not getting it with her.
I agree. You dig
Joel?
Misha?
Oh, it's Misha.
No, you go ahead, Kia. You dig? He ain't getting it.
Okay, so y'all know Joel was my boo. Y'all tried to tell me early on, leave him alone. But with Joel, he's very manipulative. Because like I said, for you to like that little small spat that they had or disagreement, it was his fault. Flat out, you didn't communicate. And it's not even about a relationship or intimate relationship, any relationship. If Didi or Uno to anybody tell me we going out to eat, I expect for you to call me and tell me you changed plans. That's like Didi say, I'm doing a live today. And then I jump on, put my hair and makeup on, and he know where to be found. I'm mad. It's like, Didi, I'm going to come to St. Lucia and get him. Be like, ooh, bro, where you at? So it's just like Joe is like, is that how he move with his regular friends? So that's why I'm like, why is he so oblivious? And then for you to go in and act like, I ain't going to use the word, but the word y'all been using today. Then you go in there in your feelings and say, oh, well, I'm going to go with Kyra because you mad. What type of real man does that? One little argument, you throw me away. And I get what she's saying, it was a loyalty thing. If you ride with me, you ride with me. Even we just fam, we friends. I respect for your loyalty. Don't let me hear the DD been talk. Let me find out DD been talking about me in these streets. Una, you better not talk about me in these streets. Chris, y'all better not talk about me in these streets. You call me and say, hey, before I hear from somebody else, I better not hear on nobody else's channel that you got something to say. So his lawyer was gonna get out. So I get what she was saying, but he was still like in La La Land in there cooking. Like, well, I don't know if the cooking threw him off. He was so focused on making them grits and shrimp. But I'm like, Joe, how slow are you? Like, y'all, Uno Didi, y'all need to inbox him and say, bro, let me give you a couple of lessons. You too old for that. Why he didn't get it? Like,
You're
seriously,
right.
like, you got two
You're
kids,
right.
you had a wife. I'm not, listen, y'all know I can't breathe when I get upset. That right there was some shenanigans, and she need to run. And then she messed up. I want to go jump in Bernice's inbox because she should have never told him her secret. When you got a man like that play on them manipulations and you can't bear your soul to everybody, then she gonna say, oh, well, I don't stay mad. I just get my point across. So now he knows that he can run.
Yes. Yep.
Come over, he gonna, rub on you. Take my 3 rubs before you just soften up and be like butter. Girl, you gave him too much information too soon. He playing games. That man is not looking for a wife, a woman. He just wants somebody to come take care of his kids. He ain't never gonna marry you. And I take back what I said last week about her sleeping with him. She said she ain't never had an overnight with him. So I'm not gonna say that they hooked up now.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I was right about
I'm
that
not
because
taking it back.
y'all will jump into conclusions.
Because people do stuff in the daytime because they got
No,
kids.
but look, if you all saw any signs of it on the show, I agree with everyone. But I didn't see any signs, and then you're like, oh well, maybe I was like, I was like, no, and then she's like, we never did an overnighter, so then.
But Didi, you
why
ain't do nothing overnight. You ain't had no rumps.
early?
Wait, Didi, you ain't never had no rumps in the hand in the middle of the day. Come on now. I'm her class, girl. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do when you gotta do.
Yeah.
I thought it was too early for that. It's too early to be thinking about an overnighter, and like this man just stood you up, and you talking about you want to spend the night with him. Like what?
It was no, but Michelle, they got. I find they got chemistry, but I just think for some reason Joel don't look like
It's toxic chemistry. That's what it is.
Okay, well, yeah, you gotta. That's a very good point. But let's go Crystal then Isis. But I want to do it in an hour because Kojo got an interview coming up with David, and I really want to see that interview.
Okay, I'll make it quick. So Amber, she could have pulled Vernisha to the side. She did not have to do that in the living room in front of everybody because that made Vernisha address it right then and there. She could have pulled her to the side and said it, and then Vernisha could have maybe pulled Joel to the side and done that. She did not have to do that in front of everybody right then and there. So that's one. Now let me go to Grammy nominee. I saw that music video and I was like, okay, these 40-year-old rappers need to stop. But so Joel knows how to backpedal. So he knows that he did some dirt. She was never clingy. She was never any of these things that he was gaslighting her about. But he said, listen, Waldy, I'm from Louisiana. I know how to talk to him. So he said, okay, I did some dirt. Now to stay in the game, because she's the one he hitched his wagon to. So now that she's mad at me, to stay in the game, now I got to talk, whisper Kiki in her ear some. So that's what I think. Vernisha, the reason Vernisha was upset is because she knew that reason that he gave wasn't good enough. She said, I'm smarter than that. Stop trying to backpedal. Stop trying to kiki in my ear. You need to be honest. This whole time, you need to tell me why. I just want to be honest. This is what I did. I did it, and I'm being honest about it. That's not a good enough reason. Stop. If you're not interested, go pursue her. The problem is, and Kyra's the one that said it. We only had like a quick bite to eat. We didn't even really have any type of connection. So he knows it's not a good enough reason. He just he's not interested in her. So he didn't know what to say to her. He's not interested in Renisha anymore. He wants to sow his royal oats. And so does my dog, apparently. So he just said, let me say something to get out of this. That's it. Next topic before she has a fit.
But let's go Isis, and then we're gonna talk about Liz, Kyra, and Jason, and then we're gonna go get to Amber, and I'm gonna close it off.
So I'm always gonna hold Joel down because I feel like there's no reason he needs to have all of this telling her he went out with girls and if he had a connection or not have a connection. I'm just a person who feels like he's showing you who he is. Everybody isn't for everybody. And just because they're physically attracted to how each other looks, then that doesn't mean that's your man. And that's the problem with Venetia. Because she's acting like that's her man because on this show, it's just him and her, as far as she knows. But he's telling her everything that she needs to know. But she was going to keep finding excuses for him. He didn't call her. She found an excuse for him. He didn't say your name. She's like, oh, I'll be mad for a little while, but then I won't be. So whatever happens to her at this point, she's a grown woman with 3 daughters, teenage daughters. If you can't figure out game by now, then you're going to have to keep going through this because that's going to be your lesson to learn. But Joel is just doing what any other man will do. She started getting tight. He started realizing he wanted to see other people. He's doing dumb stuff so that she'll get up off of him, but she won't get up off of him. I mean, it's real, baby.
But he keeps bringing her back in.
That's what I was about to say.
A man's going to be a man regardless, Isis.
She keeps bringing herself back in.
Isis, let me ask you a question. So you've never been attracted to a guy, and like to you really want to be that guy. So you just keep on giving him chances because you want to try and make things work. You have never been in that situation?
I'm not saying I haven't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this show gives us a picture into what happens when people date. And I'm saying for her or anyone, if you're getting these red flags 2-3 weeks in, why are you continuing? Move on to the next. And you don't even have to stop dating him, but you have to understand what it is and what it ain't. And so what I'm saying is he's telling her what it ain't and exactly what it is. She could be cool with that and pull back, and he'll probably pull forward towards her because he does like her. He wants to be a little bit freer than as quickly as she's trying to lock him down. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that women can't have these feelings. I'm saying learn from these shows. Don't just watch them to talk about them. Learn from these shows. He's giving you very clear red flags. If you want him to behave differently, you're going to have to have that as a requirement for him to be with you to behave differently. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem with how he's moving. I more so have a problem with how she's moving in response. He got a great body. He's got a good face. You know, he's charismatic, but you might need to say, nah, let me pull back. I'm not going to make you number one because of what you're doing. And guess what? If he want to be with her, he'll straighten up. If he don't, he'll continue to behave and she'll be on to the next. That's all I'm saying. I understand what she's doing, but I'm saying at this age, the age that she is at this point, she should have recognized game by now. It don't matter how good it looks. It don't matter how much it smells good. At this point, she needs to be recognizing game. And all he's doing is bringing game.
Okay, let me jump off real quick because I got to go to Atlanta tonight. But let me just say, I just fought both of them because, like, that's how you end up on Snap, and that's how you end up on the first 48 and all that crazy stuff. You can't play with nobody. So Joe understand he's playing the game and she shouldn't be accepting it. But that's how you get crazy people. If he don't want her, let the girl go. Don't be telling me she always been the number one, but you want to play these games. You can't play with nobody. I don't play with nobody because I don't want nobody to come over here and be trying to chop me up. I be praying like, Lord, don't let nobody like me that much. But at the end of the day, he got to stop playing because he ain't came across the right cray yet. So at the end of the day, don't play with nobody. Joe know what he's doing. So it's not right for a man to play with a woman, and it's not right for a woman to keep letting herself be played like a dummy. But again, you just don't know where people's emotional state is. So whoever watching, don't play with people, man, female, whatever. We all Gucci over here. But I'm going to explain.
You dig?
That's my point. That's my point.
Right, let's talk about Jason, Kyra, and Liz. Boy, Jason be turning Liz down, boy. Ooh, what's going on here?
I like Jason remind me of in church when they tell you don't let everybody pray for you because their spirits will jump on you. he must have let Troy pray over him at some point because that kissing spirit done jumped on him. I'm like, boy, like sit down. And it's always when Liz brings the boobs out. That's when he want to kiss. So I'm just like, Jason, sit down somewhere. It was awkward, weird.
No, I don't find it was awkward. I don't find it was weird because
and he flip-flopped this week. He's back to Liz now. Every episode he's flip-flopping back between Liz and Kyra. He don't like the way Kyra spends her money that she makes. Now he want to jump back over to Liz, and it's ridiculous.
the man he know what he's doing, but he's confusing himself. That's the problem with what he's doing. He's confusing his own damn self.
I think
How is he a basketball player and he can't pick a side? He can't pick a team. Like
no, but he's the MVP. He's making all the 3-point shots.
Jason just hasn't determined for himself what he wants in a woman. That's where his problem is. That's why he keeps flip-flopping. Because both of them are great women, but they're very different women. And if he knew exactly what he wanted, he would know which one of those is the right one for him. The thing is, he doesn't know what he really wants. And that's what's the problem for him. And that's when he starts to feel young, like you're like, he's not mature enough because he hasn't decided for himself what it is he's looking for. We know what Ron wants. We definitely know what Ron wants. We even know what Joel said he wanted. But what I don't know what Jason wants. What are you looking for, Jason? Did you want to have children? Like what's going on? What are you looking for? You know, he doesn't know, so he keeps going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Go ahead, Crystal.
Jason is sexually attracted to Liz, but wants Kyra. That's just it. He doesn't want Liz long term. He wants to hit that. That's it.
Yeah, but Liz is not that type of girl.
But Liz is not that type of girl. But he's gonna, like somebody said last week, it's a challenge for him. So he's gonna see how far he can get. So she's not that type of girl, but she keeps wearing these outfits, and so he's like, so it's like that imagination thing. Oh, well, that's something that maybe I can try to reach for. But he doesn't I don't even want to say long term with Kyra, but he just wants to hit that. That's it. So as far as Jason is concerned, but now he's messing it with Kyra. Now Kyra is seeing, and so now Kyra's like, oh, maybe I should go with somebody else because this man is undecisive. So, and that's it. I don't think it's going to be Kyra next week. But I do think that Jason is really messing up and he needs to, well, yeah, that's it.
Well, I want to try and wrap this up. Let's talk about Amber. Anybody have anything to say about Amber? Kissing Ron?
Amber out here running game. We didn't know she was running game in these streets. I'm just like shocked. I was like, oh my God. We didn't think she was playing the game, but she was playing to win. I again, like, we need to figure out what this date with Ron is. Like, I'm not mad at these couples.
I need more details.
I'm not mad at these couples kissing each other. It's like, you're not exclusive. So unless you're getting an exclusive tag or I'm dating this person, then what is the issue? The thing is, they're trying to hurt each other's feelings by saying this person goes out with this. It's coming high school, colleges. So that's the main issue. It's like, if you had a problem, if Alexis had a problem with Amber going out on a date with Ron and even kissing Ron, why can't she approach her for I guess they're there for at least 2 days or so at that point, 2 days they're at the ranch. Why did it take it to the game for you to come to blow up after everyone else said their piece about the two people that left, Ron and David? Why did it take that? Why did it take at that point? You could have easily took her to the side and say, "Hey, you know what? I had this issue that you went out. I found out you went with Ron. Can you tell me more about it?" You don't need to do that do that with everybody there. But at the same time, it's like we now know these couples are actually dating each other more often than not, but it's not being shown on the TV show. So again, I understand like the KG's response to it, but at the same time, KG's out here dating other people too. So we can't be calling the kettle black at this point. It's just like what exactly do we know and not know, or what's the show showing us? That's my main issue.
So Amber was like, "Oh no, let me explain. I know we got to wrap up, but do you guys think that she should have maybe called Alexis and said, just like Kyra did to Vernisha, and say, hey, just so you know, Joel called me and we're gonna get a quick bite to eat. Do you think it was something like that? I think it was a
No,
date. I think it was a date. I think that no, everybody's underestimating Amber and thinking that her and KG are an item. I said no. This girl
no,
knows.
no. Hell, I
But
that thing. If she and KG being an item, I don't have a problem with that. But the thing is the way Amber portrays herself on the show. Amber portrays herself that she's criticizing people because she would say little slick stuff, but then she herself is doing this, like you say, it's the pot calling the kettle black. She herself is doing the same thing. But then it might be a shock to KG because KG is another Venetia. He's not talking to other people the way he was with Chrysanthia. Like he didn't make any moves with Chrysanthia. Like he's not talking to anybody else but Amber. So I don't know where they're going with that, but then I waiting to see what conversation they're going to have in the next episode when the next episode comes about, because
I think that's gonna be
he really
great.
thought Amber wasn't doing anything and Amber is out there in those
Amber
streets.
is out here moving. Like she's actually doing the dating. I think that she's actually trying to see who she really likes. People
Yep.
underestimating her,
I think
but
she's doing
she's
that.
really trying to see who she really likes. And people are thinking that she's just with KG and that's it. I
But
also
what do
think
you
Alexis.
think about what do you think about when Alexis told her that she knows that they're having the conversation? She confided in Alexis and Alexis out there kissing Ron.
All right, so that
That was a hard one. That was a hard
right,
pill to
so
swallow.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know how if guys will tolerate that. That's my thing. Like if two guys tolerate talking to the same girl that's talking to both of them at the same time? Like if you have two best friends and then we both attract the same girl, we're both going to date the same girl. The girls having kissing, make it out with one and not make out the other one, and we're all supposed to be cool. Like I don't see how that's going to work out.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were that close. I didn't know that her and Alexis were ace boom. I didn't know that they were that close. So and Alexis like confronting her and saying, "I'm looking at you like a Judas." I was like, "Wow!" Like,
Yeah, Leila said trifling.
yeah, that is trifling. That is trifling. I was like,
I think
and
that
then she's like, "Oh, let me explain. Oh, let me explain." Then the little cute little girl come out. I'm like,
I think we don't know though what kind of kiss it was, if it was a real
Yes,
kiss.
I
We're
said
just
that.
going on what Ron said to hurt somebody.
well, that's my point. Was it something simple? And Ron being spiteful and petty, did he over exaggerate it just to jab that knife in?
This sounds a lot like that Portia Phelan Nigerian prince, whatever billionaire situation that's about to pop off. Like, it's like we don't know something, and once we figure it out, we're gonna be like, oh, that's what it feels like. I need to know what happened here, because again, like for Portia, for Amber and Alexis Fly to be like, oh, we're close, we're friends, we Bible study, we pray, talk to each other, but you still like the same guy and you're kissing the same. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in these streets. These Houston streets, I want no part of them.
Like Kojo said, they're moving mad.
I feel like Amber got her karma though. Like, how do you blast Joel in front of the whole group? And then when it's time for Alexis to blast you, she could have called me. She should have said something. She could have pulled me to the side. You didn't pull Renisha to the side. So why are you expecting the same thing to be done for you?
Right.
So I think she was being messy and got caught for it.
Yeah, because she called Amber Judas. That was hard.
That was deep.
I think Alexis really likes to get screen time. So she's always doing the most and doing whatever she can to be on the screen. Because the girl that you met 3 weeks ago, that you didn't know, that y'all chit-chatting about dating these guys, all of a sudden she's supposed to have some loyalty to you to the point where she's a Judas? I mean, come on, that's just a lot.
Yeah,
it's really a lot for her.
Y'all are best friends now, but also Alexis,
y'all freaking frack too. Okay.
Look, when she called Amber Judas, that's what Amber had to say about that.
Yes, she did.
She was looking like Joel. Like Joe was like, how did Amber know? How she even know what happened in the deliberation? Now Amber has that look on her face, like, how she know all of this?
Boy, Amber opened her eyes. Amber looked like she saw a ghost when Alice said about the kiss.
She did. She looked like she saw a ghost. I know. I think that Liz played down the interaction with David. They asked, how did that go? They both played it down. But I do agree. Alexis, like, she does not like to be, she wants to be the center of attention. She wants to have her choices. She doesn't like somebody to choose somebody else over her. She wants to have her choices. She wants them to desire her. She wants to be the one.
She just
All
want
right,
to be
guys.
picked.
This after ISIS. Go ahead, ISIS. After ISIS, we'll do our
I
predictions.
was just going to say Alexis just wants to be picked. But again, I don't know what that kiss was. If it was worth her even mentioning it to anyone, it may not have been. So I kind of feel like her shock was just that you calling me Judas, like you taking it to a whole nother level. And furthermore, why are you praying for Ron with another person? For Ron. Like, are you kidding me? Come on. She probably wasn't even praying for Ron. She probably was praying for AJ because that's who she wants.
All right,
She
guys.
just kissed AJ the day before too. So what's the big problem? Why is she a Judas? Like, I don't know, but I understand.
Yeah,
we have to go.
Well, I think what she mean by basically she's just trying to say that Amber knew her situation with Ron, and then thinking that when Amber go on the date, Amber would have done better. That's what she was thinking, even if it's the game. So that's why she's like, it's the betrayal. So like Leela said in the chats, it's trifling. So I guess that's why she says a Judas. But anyways, let's see predictions. Let's go. Anu, who do you think the ladies will be kicked off next episode?
I think
Alexis is going home. Me and Anu, we agree.
It looks like my decision was taken away from me.
Alexis. Okay, so everybody in the panel agrees Alexis.
Alexis going.
Anybody have anything else? No other prediction. What's about Liz?
We might have a cat fight between Alexis
it might
and
be
Amber.
Liz, because Liz doesn't have a connection with it. Like Liz and Vernisha don't have any other connections. So that's why I would say maybe them two. But I think I'm like 75% with Alexis.
Alexis only has the one connection of AJ. Venetia has the one connection,
He's ignoring her calls,
Liz
though.
has the one connection.
He's falling back from her.
That's why she going home.
It might be Amber, but I feel like it's either Alexis or Venetia, just because Joel might get in that room again and do a fast move again. So and Venetia is his only. Joel is her only connection.
Look,
so I think it's going to be Alexis.
He already did that solvent cooking, so he know what he's doing. He gave us some solvent cooking, and she's like smiling, and then he apologized. So it looked like they're going to spend the night together.
I saw that.
But anyway, guys, I'm about to wrap this up. Let's go support Kojo. He has an interview with David. I think it's already started. It started at 6.
Oh, we gotta
go. Let's just jump over to his channel and then see that. I'm really interested in seeing that interview. But on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.